Hey everyone, and welcome! Today, we're going to take a fun virtual tour all across the United States. We'll get to explore some incredible and very different places. Are you ready to start our journey? Okay, let's go!
So here's our plan for today's trip. First, we'll talk about what a region even is. Then we'll visit 5 major areas of the US, one by one. It's going to be a really fun adventure, I promise.
All right, first things first. Before we can start exploring, we need to ask an important question. What exactly is a region? Let's take a look at the big picture to figure that out.
Okay, so a region is pretty simple. It's just a group of states that are all in one area of the map. Think of it like this. It's a way for us to talk about a whole chunk of the country all at once. So remember those two key parts, a group of states in one area.
All right, so the US is usually broken down into 5 main regions. As you can see on the map here, we have the Northeast, the Southeast, the Midwest, the West, and the Southwest. These are all the places we're going to visit on our tour today.
Okay, are you ready for our first stop? We're kicking things off on our journey in the Northeast. Let's go see what makes it so special.
And here we are. Check out that highlighted spot on the map. This is the Northeast. This place is packed with huge cities and, some really important American history.
The Northeast is really cool because it has a little bit of everything. You've got these massive, world-famous cities like New York City, but then you can also find just incredible nature, like the beautiful coastlines and mountains in Maine. And there's so much history here. For example, Philadelphia is where the United States first declared its independence way back in 1776.
All right, we've had a great time in the Northeast. Now, let's head south for our next stop, the Southeast.
Welcome to the Southeast. Take a look at the map here. This area is famous for its warm weather, some seriously delicious food, and awesome music.
Wow, the Southeast has such a unique culture. For example, you can try amazing Cajun food down in New Orleans. The region is also famous for things like exciting car racing and country music. And get this, it's home to St. Augustine, which is actually the oldest city in the whole country, and it really celebrates its Spanish history.
Okay, for our next stop, we're heading right to the middle of the country. This place has a really cool nickname, America's Heartland. So let's find out why.
And here we are in the Midwest. You can see on the map how it's right in the center, the very heart of the country. And that's exactly how it got its special nickname.
So why is it called the Heartland? Well, a big reason is that this region grows so much of the country's food, like corn and wheat. But it's not all farmland. It's also home to the Great Lakes. These are the largest freshwater lakes on the entire planet. How cool is that? Plus, you have big cities like Chicago that are centers for learning, with huge universities doing important research. All right, we're on the last part of our tour, and it's a big one. We're actually going to explore 2 regions together because they're so connected, the West and the Southwest.
Whoa, just look at the map. See how huge this area is? This part of the country is famous for its wide open spaces, incredible scenery, and this really interesting mix of old history and super modern technology.
So let's start with the West. When you think of the West, you might think of cowboys, and that's definitely a part of its history. But today it's also famous for its huge cities and beautiful beaches, especially in California. In fact, Northern California is called Silicon Valley because that's where so many of the world's biggest computer companies are. And it's also a place where many Native American communities live, celebrating their amazing history and culture.
Okay, now let's shift over to the Southwest. This region is known for its beautiful desert landscapes. Think lots of cacti, especially in places like Arizona. And the sights here are just wow. You have amazing natural wonders like the Grand Canyon and really important historical places like the Alamo. And of course, there's Texas. It's the second biggest state and a huge hub for businesses like oil and cattle ranching. Well, our tour is almost over. We've seen how different and special each region is, right? But you know what? There's something that really connects them all. The mountains, the cities, the deserts, they're all so beautiful. But this quote really gets to the heart of it. It's saying that the best part of any place is the people. It's the hardworking, caring people who make each of these amazing regions so special.
And just like that, our tour of the United States is complete. I really hope you had fun exploring the US with me today. So, I've got one last question for you. After seeing all these amazing places, which region would you like to visit first? Think about it. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey. Goodbye for now.